What is up, fellas? We are back. It is week one. Of course, we were 10 minutes late because my camera decided to screw the pooch on me, and the mic decided to do that. But you know what? That's pretty on brand for us. We're usually disorganized chaos heading into the season, and I have a feeling week one is probably going to be about the same thing. So, going to be a fun one. Of course, we got tons of questions already in the chat already. Really appreciate that. We are about to, Danny is excited because Dak Prescott got excited, got extended. We're all over the place. I'm going to let you talk now.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, obviously the big news of the day, it's classic Cowboys, classic Jerry Jones, waiting to the literal day of the game, the literal day of week one to extend your franchise quarterback. 4 years, 240 million, 231 million guaranteed. It's a contract you needed to pay him because quite frankly, if he became, oh, I'm hearing myself on the other end here. One sec. Sorry,
We're all over the
I had
place.
the YouTube stream in the background, so I heard myself talk as I was talking, but you guys won't know the reference. But either way, 240, 231 million guaranteed. If he hit free agency next offseason, this guy would legitimately go for $65 million. So locking him up now, getting that done again, contrary to a lot of people's beliefs, the Cowboys still believe they are in a Super Bowl window, and signing up your two clear most important players on offense is the right step to take.
Yeah, absolutely. So, quick housekeeping note, and we will get into questions ASAP. First of all, hook them. Second of all, we do have,
Do you have
a
it
new
on sub only
feature.
chat, by the way?
What's up?
Do you
Yeah,
have
I
it on
got it.
sub only chat? Okay, perfect. Making sure.
So we do have a new feature that I just linked in the live chat, basically where you guys are able to ask us questions. Instead of having to super chat, you can direct ask us questions to our site, which we can then show you guys on this end. So again, you can still super chat. We'll still answer those. We'll still answer free questions as well. Just an alternative, basically. And we're going to kick things off because we do have Shake's question in the chat right now, just to show you guys how this works. And I linked the direct way to actually go and get those chats, and it is also in the description of this video. But basically, we can answer this one live. Danny, I'll let you take it away here.
For sure. So he does say here, Dynasty Superflex PPR, he just lost Jordan Love for 3 to 6 weeks. He considered himself a contender, but with his quarterbacks not looking good enough to contend until he comes back, he's a little bit concerned. Obviously not crazy about Chuba Hubbard. Here, let me see the end. But regardless, he's not thrilled about Chuba Hubbard, but he does like the upside of Marshawn Lloyd. And he does think basically right now upgrading that third rounder to a first rounder, since he doesn't view himself as a full contender without Love, this would be like his way of almost like retooling it going into next year. So he wants to know our thoughts. Honestly, I mean, looking at how strong this 2025 running back class is going to be, I think you can make the argument that the running back that you can get that range, Ollie Gordon, Omarion Hampton, one of those guys, potentially being in the mid to late first, I'm cool making this move.
Yeah, no, I think I'm on the same page there. Like, it's tough, man. It's a good transition. Pacheco's probably going to be, I mean, like we saw the usage for him on Thursday night. Like it's definitely very solid. He has a chance to be a top 6 to 8 running back, but this is a pretty good return for any running back, to be honest, especially one that doesn't have a whole lot of job security long term.
Honestly, too, just looking at how great these 2025 players have been so far. Obviously, the running back class looking phenomenal. Ted McMillan had over 300 yards. Quarterbacks starting to round up a little bit. A couple of guys, like, for example, Nussmeier potentially being a first-round pick now. A couple good games to start the year. Like, I think this is probably the cheapest we can get 2025 picks at this current point, because once it comes week 6, week 7, week 8, they may be nearly unattainable, especially if a guy like, for example, this is a mid to late first. This guy's probably not going to be available in that range, but maybe you got lucky. This ended up early to mid. Ashton Jeanty is on pace to break Barry Sanders' rushing record.
Yeah, no, he is. He's doing outstanding, and we do have a couple supers that have stacked up already. 2 things I want to do right before we get into the supers is let people know where we have Justin Fields ranked and where we have Jamar Chase ranked, because those are the majority of the questions we're getting so far. So I feel like it's probably good to address those situations. So I have Jamar Chase ranked at wide receiver 13. I have him behind Pittman, Jalen Waddle, Adams, Nico Collins, Evans, Puka Nacua, Jefferson, those type of guys. But if you're deciding between like, oh, should I sit Jamar Chase because he might not play a full allotment of snaps for George Pickens or something, like, don't. Just play Jamar Chase as a top 15 receiver and kind of hope for the best. That's where I'm at with Chase. I don't know about you.
Yeah, I agree now. It is reported that he is going to play. So can you pull the question back up? I just wanted to see the other option because I was closing the other
It wasn't a
question.
question. I'm just addressing where I
Oh,
have Chase in
sorry.
as a general, because a lot of people are
What?
asking. Like, for example, Sunmate says right here, Jamar Chase over Cortland Sutton today. Yes, like you're
Yes.
starting Chase over non-top 12, top 15 options, unless for some
So,
reason you have a loaded team and you can play Collins over him or something like that. Then absolutely, but for the most part, just throw Chase into your lineup and hope for the best. That's what I'm personally doing in my leagues.
so I currently updated my rankings as of today. Jamar Chase landed as here. Where do we have him listed here? This is for
He's at 15
redraft.
for me,
So
or at 15 for me is where I
gonna
have
go
him, or
to week
13. I can't remember
one.
what I just said. 13 is where I have him.
Yeah,
Sorry.
so he hasn't fully updated yet on the site. I'm sure that'll happen in the next couple of minutes, but he is ranked as my 14. So the guys that I have listed right above him: Marvin Harrison Jr., Jalen Waddle, Cooper Kupp, Drake London, Mike Evans gets a bump up. I already had Nico Collins ranked above him with the concern coming into this week. So like the options, like once you get into like Olave, Adams, Debo Samuel, I think you can also make the case to take those guys. But for me, it's just tough knowing that if Chase is active, even in a limited sample size, 65, 70% of the snaps, the guy can catch a 65-yard touchdown and it's all moot.
Exactly. Yeah. That's where I'm at with Chase. And then the other guy that I want to address before we get into the questions here is Justin Fields, because he just got announced that he's going to start for the Steelers. I have Justin Fields at quarterback 15, and Wanye asked specifically Justin Fields or Jaden Daniels. That's right around where I have them ranked. Like I have Justin Fields at 15. I have Jaden Daniels at 16. So I would start Justin Fields over Jaden Daniels. We got some potential weather conditions in the Tampa game. I heard there's supposed to be potential rain there, and it's a rookie quarterback's first game, so I'm a little bit nervous about that. As far as who I would start over Justin Fields, I have Caleb Williams, Stafford, Dak Prescott, Trevor Lawrence, Jared Goff, Tua Tagovailoa, but I have Justin Fields over Jaden Daniels. I have him over Geno Smith. I have him over Joe Burrow. I have him over Baker
Wow,
Mayfield.
you dropped Burrow big time.
I dropped Burrow, yeah.
And honestly, looking at the adjustment now, knowing that there's could be a potential limited Chase, knowing that there's not going to be
Higgins is gone,
Higgins
or
in this
he's
game.
out.
Yeah, so that is actually a very good point. I will drop Joe Burrow down significantly. On top of that, I mean, I understand they aren't a great team, but New England just has a way of like muddying up games. Like we've noticed that throughout the year. So for me, yeah, I agree there. I ended up just dropping Joe Burrow to my quarterback 17. I am higher on Jaden Daniels than you are. He is my quarterback 11 right now. So the reason why I understand rookie quarterback, but at the same time, in terms of Justin Fields versus Jaden Daniels specifically, I'm cool making whether you want 4 or 6 point touchdown bet. We can make the first Sunday bet of the year. Obviously, I got off to a good start with the Rashid Rice. I believe it was against Amari Cooper today.
Yeah, I mean Cooper could still beat him
for sure. I'm saying it's a good start, is what I mean.
I took Pittman though, didn't I? Like we talked about a million different guys, and then I settled on Pittman. Unless you wanted, I'll stick.
I'm
with
pretty
Cooper.
sure it was Cooper. I wrote in the private chat. I thought you docked it down into the sheet.
You did, but then we discussed it later because I was like, "There's no way you have him over Pittman or over Waddle." I was like, "You're insane."
Fair.
I'll leave this.
I mean,
right now.
We made it on Cooper, but I mean, like
we can make it on Cooper. I don't care. Okay, but
yeah.
anyways, let's get to some supers here because we did have Cody was the first one who sent in a super. Let me find it here. Here it is. Fellas, it's a good day to be back. You start Pickens or Brian Thomas over Ayuk, knowing he will be on a snap count. Also had T. Higgins, but he is not playing. Let the games begin. So T. Higgins snap count, or sorry, not T. Higgins snap count. Brandon Ayuk is on a snap count. That's what he's referring to, correct?
Yeah. So Brandon Ayuk is a guy I actually dropped to my wide receiver 26 on the week. I personally would still go with Ayuk over Pickens and Brian Thomas. If you're extremely risk averse, I would actually go Brian Thomas as the second option there over Pickens.
Oh, I would play Pickens over B Tom for sure.
Over with Justin Fields starting, bad matchup, potential shadow from AJ Terrell. I'm not trusting George Pickens anything more than like a wide receiver.
I think it's way riskier to start a rookie in his first game who we don't know what his role is.
Great projection, and we've been seeing him working 2 wide receiver sets all preseason. I'm trusting Brian Thomas.
Okay,
they're the same archetype of player, except one has a good offense.
Full disclosure, I would still.
Yes. Let's clarify that. But in terms of where I have them ranked, I have Ayuk 26. I have Brian Thomas 33. I have Pickens at 40 right now, I believe, or 39. He's one of those two.
Yeah, like I'm gonna move. So I had Ayuk at 17 originally. The snap count news, I'm gonna move him down to 24, right behind Metcalf, DJ Moore, Amari Cooper, Malik Neighbors, those type of guys. So I'm gonna move him down a little bit, but I still feel pretty confident that I'm gonna be talking about it. And let's get to some more supers. Jack actually asked if we have any good pick'ems. We will break those down a little bit later on. Danny, if you want to pull up your pick'em slip that you made, I can. We can transition to that after these supers.
Let me quickly upload it to the brand because I haven't uploaded it yet. So the first one that we got.
I'll answer questions. You can just do that. Okay, Spicy says, welcome back to football, everyone. Remember to leave your question just once. Absolutely. Only leave your question once. Also, Danny, you appear to be frozen on my end too.
Oh, great. Nice.
I'll throw you in the back seat for a second here. While you get that sorted out. So Omar says, morning fantasy gurus to league. So I'm assuming you're talking about David Gautieri, I think is who you're talking about here. 12 team half PPR, 2 flex, starting JSN, Brian Thomas, Palmer, Sun God, Shaheed on the bench. Replace JSN or Thomas Jr. Standard. Okay, I'm sorry. I'm having a hard time understanding what you're asking here. Starting JSN. Okay, so I would half PPR 2 flex. I don't know what you're. Sorry, the way that you worded this question is a little bit odd. Sun God. Do you understand what he's asking here?
Yeah, I'll check it. I'll check in a second here. Sorry.
Okay.
Let me do that and then put it in the background. Morning fantasy gurus, 2 leagues, 12 team half PPR, 2 flexes. He's starting JSN, Brian Thomas, Josh Palmer, and Amon St. Brown. Shaheed is on his bench. He's asking if he should replace JSN with Brian Thomas Jr. in your starting lineup. This is a standard league, 1 flex, and he's starting JSN, McConkey with Ridley on his bench. Should he replace basically Brian Thomas with either of those guys? I think is what he's asking.
Okay, so the way I have them ranked is obviously St. Brown is way the fuck up there. He's the highest rated of that group. I have
Brown, Brian Thomas,
Thomas
JSN
Jr. over JSN, so I would play Thomas Jr. over JSN if that's what you're asking.
It's 2 separate leagues I'm just seeing now. So one's a half PPR, one's a standard. Okay, so it's 2 separate questions.
Okay, so I think I would play Ridley. I would play Ridley over McConkey and JSN in the other league, but I would play Thomas Jr. over JSN in the first league.
Yeah, I go Ridley over McConkey as well. But yeah, no, I would go Brian Thomas, especially in a standard league. Ridley and Brian Thomas would be the 2 answers in the standard league because I do believe they have the highest touchdown upside of those guys.
Yeah, absolutely.
Appreciate the super chat.
So Justin Fields or Caleb Williams specifically? Yeah, so I have Caleb Williams 1 spot higher than Justin Fields, so I would play Caleb Williams. I don't know about you. Where are you at on those 2 guys?
Justin Fields or Caleb Williams? I have Caleb Williams higher.
Yeah. Do we want to go this view or do we want to go the back view?
I like this one. And then obviously we switch to this when we need to. But yeah,
Okay.
I do like this one. The one thing I will add so quickly with Justin Fields versus Caleb Williams is obviously starting a rookie quarterback in his first game. It does feel risky, but knowing that the Bears are implied for 24 points this week, the Titans are a pass funnel defense, and Caleb Williams is entering in his first game, yes, but with a wide receiver trio that we can fully trust. Like Caleb Williams is a top 15 ranked quarterback for me. And that almost feels like I'm being cautious with it, to be honest. Because if Caleb Williams is like the quarterback 6 on the week through 289 yards and 3 touchdowns.
Okay. We are so all over the place. It's not even funny. Danny just like refreshes his page mid question.
I didn't refresh my page. I think I nudged my mouse button and it kicked me from the stream.
Yeah, this has got to be an all-time record for most technical issues in one stream. This is like pitiful for the amount that we've had so far.
Appreciate 50,000 of you for sticking through us with us through this shenanigans. We are
trolling heavily right now.
What a cliffhanger! But would it all shock anybody if Caleb Williams, despite being in his first game, had 289 yards, 3 touchdowns, and we're ranking him as a consensus top 8 quarterback for the rest of the season?
No, it wouldn't shock me at all.
Yeah. All right, let's get to the next question. Apologies for that, lads.
I don't think it is. I never wear earbuds during the stream, so I'm all fucked up because it's earbuds of the jinx here. So Zachary says Zamir White, Chase Brown, Deontay Johnson, half PPR for flex.
Half PPR, you got to go with the workload of Zamir.
Yeah,
I want to put Chase Brown in. I will say I want to, but I can't.
No, you can't. I Chase Brown would be third of this question for me. It would be.
I would take Chase over Deontay and a half for sure.
Yeah.
Low implied total for the Panthers, and you're not even getting the PPR appeal that Deontay brings to the table.
That's fair. Yeah, I think I would probably go Zamir White, but I don't really love any of these options, to be honest.
If you want to live a little, though, Chase Brown, 6-point plus favorites against New England at home. The wide receivers are either banged up or Chase is coming into the game. He's going to play, but is he going to be limited? Like, how many snaps is he going to play? Obviously, T. Higgins basically already ruled out. Like, what if Chase Brown just had like 140 yards from scrimmage and 2 touchdowns? Like, that's in the range of outcomes. Now, with that being said, we're not going off of Gutalytics. We're going off of what we can project. We can project Zamir White to have a good week 1 workload. We still have yet to see that from Chase Brown.
Yeah, that's why I have Chase Brown outside of my top 24 running backs, and I have Zamir White like right on the fringe. I think Zamir White's like my RB 26 or something this week, so he's a little bit ahead for me.
Yeah, for sure. Appreciate the super.
Jonathan says Ramondre, Deontay, Curtis Samuel, or McConkey, PPR flex, choose one. Start Atlanta or Chargers defense. Okay, so as far as the PPR flex, I think I'm caught between Ramondre and I think my highest rated receiver of that group is Deontay Johnson.
I
Let me
think it's
take a
got to
look.
be Ramondre.
I think in full PPR, I would go Deontay Johnson because I think, first of all, I'm worried that Ramondre Stevenson is going to lose a lot of work receiving wise to Antonio Gibson in a game where the Bengals will probably be winning for the most
Yeah.
part. So I think I would go Deontay. I think in PPR leagues, like, I mean, Deontay's good for a 7 catch, 49 yard, 0 touchdown floor every single week. And that might be better than Ramondre Stevenson's floor, to be honest. So
Yeah.
the ceiling
That's
probably
fair.
favors Ramondre Stevenson, but I actually like Deontay a little bit better. And that game
I mean,
sneakily in Carolina could be a lot more high scoring than people think. Like that over under is getting a lot of steam on the over.
yeah, no, I would agree with you there. I mean, Ramondre and Deontay so close, but I would agree in the sense that Deontay is probably the safer bet here, knowing the offensive projection of New England with Jacoby Brissett at quarterback. Though I will say, I mean, the underrated headline of this year, I would say going into the season, is that Cincinnati was a very good defense between the tackles last year. Obviously, DJ Reader was a monster at stopping the run. He does leave in free agency. I'm really curious to see how that Cincinnati run defense is affected by that. Because, I mean, for my money, DJ Reader's a top 3 nose tackle in the league behind maybe Vita Vea and maybe Kenny Clark. Like, he is in that tier. He is phenomenal.
Yeah, no, he's definitely great. Caleb Williams or Jaden Daniels, where do you stand on this? I have Caleb Williams like 2 spots higher.
And at 4 point, I actually like Jaden Daniels, but I mean, like, I might have to flip that. Like,
I think it comes down to the fact that Jaden Daniels is on the road in a game with potential weather implications against a better defense than
they're 11 and 13 for me right now. But like,
yeah, I have them 14 and 16, so I'm a little bit lower on them collectively. Like I have you probably don't have Stafford ahead of them. Like I have Stafford ahead of them.
I have Stafford at 14, so he's 1 spot behind Caleb.
I mean,
Stafford,
that game has like a 53 point over under.
No.
That's why I have Stafford ahead of him.
You won't have me complain about having Stafford ahead of them. I will, like for example, I have Puka Nacua and Cooper Kupp inside my top 12 receivers. And what is going on with my camera? I'm just that is the most. Why did it?
Okay, well, you can bitch in the back seat there. I'll let you sort that out. Q says Brian Robinson or Chase Brown. I'm probably rolling. That one's close for me, Q. I think I have them literally back to back. When I did the running back tier list video, I had, where was it? So I have Chase Brown at 30 and I have Brian Robinson at 32. I guess the tiebreaker there is that Brian Robinson has the Buccaneers defense, which were obviously the best in the NFL last year against the running back position. So I'd probably roll with Chase Brown, but I actually don't hate Brian Robinson. It's just a bad matchup.
Yeah, no, I agree there. Brian Robinson's a guy that I got higher on throughout the offseason, but like you said, 2 down running back, not the most ideal game script. Jaden Daniels' first game, and Tampa Bay, like you said, absolutely no pushovers when it comes to stopping the run. I have Brian Robinson Jr. right now as my running back 32. The guys I kind of have around him are like Chuba Hubbard, Tony Pollard, Jalen Warren, Rico Dowdle, kind of in that range. The guys slightly above are other running backs with workloads, but potentially better matchups like Zamir White, Najee Harris. Obviously, you mentioned Chase Brown. He's 26 for me. I have DeAndre Swift in that range, Devin Singletary, Jerome Ford. Those would be the guys like right above him.
Yeah, absolutely. I think he's the type of guy that would be a good play in this game script typically, but the Bucs are just so good against the run. So I just realized, Danny, we've been going in like inverse priority. You usually do the super chats.
I mean, I'll handle that. Yeah, go to the top. Sorry, I've had so many technical issues. You kind of
if you guys have drank every time we do a shot every time we have a technical issue on the stream, and you would be shit faced right now, like absolutely shit faced.
If you couldn't tell, we're not the techiest of tech guys.
Well, yeah, like the reason I'm having technical issues is because I got a new PC like 3 days ago, and
my PC's just shit.
My PC is great. Like it's just there's new stuff that I don't know about it. So that's why I'm like all over the place being like, how the hell is this not working? And why isn't that working? And it's like I need to update drivers and like I had my camera in the wrong USB port. So it had like a lag on it. It's just there's a lot of shit going on.
A couple of my USB ports at this rate are fried. Like to be fair, again, I got a really good PC when I ended up getting the PC, but I mean that's just what happens. I got that PC in the middle of 2020. So It's 4 years. Like,
Got a lot of use out of it during
got a lot
COVID,
of use.
too.
Oh, for sure, dude. Like, and I mean, the other factor too is maybe I should start actually moving some stuff to my D drive because I have like 4 terabytes that I have
Yeah,
available.
dude.
So
The fact that you just like maxed out your SSD instead of using your like 4 terabyte D drive is pretty funny to me. Like, anyways, enough.
that shows
nerd
my
talk
level of
here.
tech expertise. But we'll get into. Did you answer? Sorry, go back.
No, we didn't answer
Yeah, okay.
Tridents yet here.
First priority waivers tight end is Sinnott. Pick up likely or wait for something better. How good is likely going to be? Is he worth priority at this point?
So
Honestly,
first
like,
of all, why are you? I'm assuming you're prioritizing tight end because you have a
he's weak
bad
at
tight
it.
end, but like, there's probably gonna be running backs and wide receivers that come up that are better.
Yeah, I would honestly wait to see what's available before I do that because I do like likely. Like, I think he looked really good. I think this is a team that should base out of 12 personnel, given the fact that Rashad Bateman's their wide receiver too. And I mean, he made one really good catch, but like their wide receivers are really struggling. And I would make the case that likely's a top 2, top 3 wide receiver / tight end on that team. Like, you can
Yeah,
make the case
you
that
can make the
he
argument
looked
that
better than Andrews.
he did look better than Andrews. And I frankly, I do think this whole like likely's better than Andrews thing will be like something we look back on in week 9 and we're like, remember when Mark Andrews was useless because Isaiah Likely had a monster game and like that's the classic week 1. We all overreacted to it. I could totally see that being the case. But like you said, if they run out of base 12 personnel and he's viable as a top 12 tight end all year, wouldn't shock me either.
All I'm going to say is we are going to have a generational get back if Pitts goes off today. Because if you remember the short I recorded with Mason, where I said Jacobs over Henry and I said Pitts over Andrews, and people call me every book in the name. People are going to go back to that short after this week if Pitts goes off, and they're going to be like, wow, like Bandana actually.
Danny,
like,
you
good,
are
you know?
vastly overestimating people on the internet. You think they're going to have the humility to go back to that short and admit they were wrong?
No,
No,
new
they're going to
people.
forget
Nope.
they ever commented that.
No, new people are gonna, when they see that short, are gonna be like, "Whoa, this guy actually kind of cooked."
I see. Yeah. The same is going to happen with the Garrett Wilson, Justin Jefferson stuff.
Let's go, baby. Let's ride.
Javonte Williams, I'm guessing this is Chuba Hubbard, Rico Dowdle, Calvin Ridley at the flex. Make sure, by the way, that when you guys are commenting
PPR?
this stuff, you leave scoring formats because that is definitely crucial information. I would say in full PPR, I want Calvin Ridley. Actually, to be honest, in any PPR, I want Calvin Ridley.
Yeah, I would agree. So start at the top here. I will quickly refresh on the site just to see if we got any more questions. Again, if you guys want to go access us over on flockfantasy.com, similar to Super Chats, you're able to skip the priority in terms of the question, because as we go now, 3 questions, we go in order of what shows up in the stream. So if you want to skip the line, you can either do that through Super Chat or over on flockfantasy.com, and it'll send you a little timestamp on the stream when we talked about your question.
Yeah, and not only that too, but like on the site, you can ask us questions all week long. It doesn't have to be like during a live stream. So that's the other feature of that. And also too, from the back end, YouTube takes a little pretty penny off the top of these super chats.
Oh, yeah.
So it would be
More
really
beneficial for
appreciated
us.
if you guys are going to super chat that you do it through the site, because we would take home more on the back end there. All the way back up to the top, like I said,
one super chat we quickly got here from JMO. Appreciate that. Do not drop Benson. Do not. Like, I understand Burrow's not got an ideal projection this week. You eat the 8 points maybe that Fields to a Geno on a,
or drop somebody worse,
or drop somebody worse.
And
like,
Tua would be the guy I would pick up of that group if you're going to do it.
Like, there's a real possibility if you made this drop and Connor got hurt this week, like Benson would instantly become a $100 of your fab pickup.
Yeah, I don't know about you, but I'm kind of sensing a 100% of the fab pickup after this week. Like, I don't know. I expect gut instinct that we might get a monster dude on the waiver wire this week.
So Mason like mentioned it on one of his live streams like earlier in the week. He's like, we haven't like seen like a big injury yet, like this and that. Like, obviously those before the Love, obviously that ended up being a lot less than people expected. People thought it was
Jordan Love wasn't out. We had so much Jacobs.
3 to 5 weeks now. 3 to 5 weeks. That's like the most ideal situation we could have thought of. But Mason said, he's like, oh, we haven't seen like a big injury yet. I'm like, if Connor goes down this week, that soundbite of Mason saying that edited into a Flock League freaking video would do generational numbers, especially knowing the context of the trade and that he had Connor and Benson and then traded Benson. That would make for a legendary video.
That would be, yeah. It would be really fun. It sounds like copium on your part, but it would be really fun.
I mean,
Keenan Allen or Deontay Johnson. I have Deontay higher than Keenan.
Yeah, I have Deontay.
I actually don't hate Keenan this week as much as I've been shit talking Keenan for about 4.5 months.
Where do you have each of them ranked?
I have
PPR.
Deontay Johnson at 35 and Keenan Allen at 36. So they're right next to each other for me.
I have them a little bit comparably lower. Like, for example, I have like Rome, Shakir, McLaurin.
Yeah, there's no way I would start Rome Odunze over Deontay Johnson, to be honest. Like, not in the first game. Like, I want to see what Odunze's route participation and stuff looks like. Like, I think Rome Odunze is the better projection all season long, but I do not think he's the better projection in week 1.
We're potentially getting a more talented player in a much better game environment. Like, I understand
I'm
he's
not
a
arguing
rookie.
his outlook for the
season.
I
get it.
I'm talking about this week.
I am talking about this week because the game environment of that game is much better than the Saints-Panthers.
The Saints-Panthers game is a sneaky shootout spot, to be honest.
You think so?
And Deontay and Carolina has no other receivers, and I know Deontay is going to run like 100% of the routes, and it's full PPR, which is Deontay Johnson's bread and butter.
I mean, it's close. They're 37 and 40 for me. I love the upside of Rome.
You're taking the stance on these rookies I've noticed this week where you're like, I'm just going to start.
It's worked out for me so far, baby.
Yeah, you're right. Xavier Worthy definitely cooked. But I'm a little bit more pessimistic just in week 1 until I see some kind of route participation numbers on McConkey, on Odunze, on Coleman. On
that's how I treated the running backs too. Like the running backs, the rookies. So Benson, Corum, spit me in a couple other, like Jalen Rice out of my top 50, Ray Davis. Like they're all in more of the 40 to 50 range. And if we see some usage, I'll bump them up to the 30s. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I just, with rookies, I tend to think that most NFL teams don't like playing rookies early on in the season. That's why I like kind of lean with the veteran decision-making points. Like, I think it's gross, but just eat your vegetables and start your Deontay Johnson, Terry McLaurins, and Christian Kirks this week. I know you want to start Ladd McConkey. I know you want to start Rome Odunze, Brian Thomas Jr., but I actually think that the veterans are just the route that I'm going this week. I have the veterans pretty much unanimously.
It's an upside versus floor case. Like Deontay Johnson obviously has a higher floor than Rome Odunze. I think Rome Odunze obviously has the higher upside. So
yeah, no, I feel that. I just think you're better off leaning on floor in the early portion of the season so you don't drop games and fall behind in your fantasy leagues. Anyways,
let me say one thing. So we do have a super chat from Mark. We'll get into it in a second. DJ asks, how do you ask questions on Flock? Can you drop the direct link to the a la carte?
Yeah, so the direct link to the a la carte is in the description of the stream right now. Yeah. So if you guys go to the description of the stream, I'll drop it in the live chat again. Yeah. Basically, it's flockfantasy.com, code FSE purchase or whatever. You can see it in the chat there. You can go there and you can ask basically a super chat the way that you would on YouTube, except it goes directly to our site and you'll be kind of showcased here. The question
I pinned it in the live chat as well.
A lot better than just typing out your question. You can actually pick your players and select your league scoring format. And of course, you can use our My Teams feature to do that as well. But it's just a much better system. Again, we're trying to slowly integrate that to be like our primary source of answering questions on live streams as opposed to taking super chats. But we understand you guys are comfortable just leaving super chats. So we're going to leave those as an option here. But anyways, we'll
anyone that wants
as many questions as we can here.
For anyone that wants to submit questions over on Flock, I also pinned it at the top of the live chat. So if you guys see it's pinned in black at the top from us at Fantasy Stock Exchange, you click that link, you can ask that straight up. So
yeah. And again, your questions will show up here where Danny is logged in.
Refresh it here, make sure
here, and you'll be able to answer them anyways. We'll go back to this stream. Okay, so let's fly through some questions. We're being slow here. Wanye says, and in my survivor league,
got a couple supers after this as well.
Okay. What team do you got to win? Seahawks, Broncos, Saints, Panthers, Bengals, Patriots. I think the Patriots are destined to lose today. I would go with the Bengals.
I think it's too sketch to bet on.
You could use the Saints.
The Patriots made it ugly against the Eagles last year. Like I can very well see a similar type of game. Like for me, the Seahawks are such a lock against the Broncos this week. The Seahawks with their new offense, with Ryan Grubb coming in,
good man. I don't want to fuck with Bo Nix.
I'm taking the Seahawks, man. I'm taking them.
I think if it's one of those leagues, it's Survivor. You can only use each team once. I'm pretty sure you could go with the Saints too, because you're probably never going to.
You're never going to pick them.
Again. Yeah.
I don't mind that
I would
call
go
as
Bengals,
well.
though, personally, that's where I would go.
I wouldn't waste my Bengals this week, especially knowing Jamar might not play the full allotment of snaps.
You're probably right about that. Yeah, I'm gonna formally change my answer to Saints. I would go with the Saints because you're never gonna use the Saints again.
Hey, we capitulate on the Saints, baby. Let's go.
Yeah.
We got a couple supers here. Half PPR, Flex, Pollard, Chase Brown, DeAndre Hopkins, Josh Palmer. To me, this is Chase Brown. I will take you, Chase Brown versus Pollard straight up. I'll take you on that.
Yeah. Again, I'm being the complete beta cuck, and anybody who has an uncertain workload, I'm not starting them until I have more information. So what are Chase Brown is one of those guys. I know Pollard's going to be the lead back on early downs, so I'll take Pollard.
Spicy, you got the other two jotted, right? There's the Amari Cooper versus Rasheed, and then there was what was it earlier? Fields versus Daniels we did?
Fields versus Jaden Daniels. Yeah,
and then this one right now with Pollard versus Chase Brown. So
yeah, I'll make Spicy, when the stream's done, I'll make a new sheet that we had last year so that we can keep track of them and then send you access to that.
Appreciate you, homie.
Was that the only super chat we had? Did we answer that?
Yeah. Here,
I'm taking Pollard. You're taking Chase Brown.
Yeah, and so Spicy. So the first one, it was full PPR, Rice versus Cooper. The second one was 4-point passing touchdown for Jaden Daniels and Fields. This one was half PPR for Pollard and Chase Brown, just to make sure our scoring is fully set. We'll quickly go through these other two. We are spending a little bit longer than usual, but I mean, there's a lot more tech shit on the back end that we are going through right now. So just trust us. Pick 3, Pittman, Debo, Deontay, McConkey, JSN, Shakir, Pickens. Pittman, Debo are the locks in your lineup here quite easily. They're top 24 wide receivers this week for me. And then it's between Deontay, McConkey, JSN, Shakir, and Pickens. I'm trusting JSN here. I'm trusting JSN.
You're trusting JSN over Pickens? No way.
Yeah, absolutely.
Oh, dude, what?
What's the scoring here? Is that PPR? Let us know, Atomic. He doesn't say
either way, I would rather have Pickens because I think he's going to get more targets. And
you want to do it in PPR?
He's a better touchdown threat, and he's going to get more targets. So I'll take him in any format.
Hey, bro, if you want to put your eggs in the basket of Justin Fields against AJ Terrell, then be my guest.
I don't want to, but I think he's the better projection.
Yeah, he says PPR. He says. Jot it down, Spicy.
I literally have JSN in like every home league that I'm in, so I will totally be happy if this one blows up.
Jot it down, Spicy.
I just think that Pickens is the better projection.
Jot it down, Spicy. JSN is going to have a game to feed centuries or families. Fuck, I fucked that up.
We have technical issues and speaking issues,
and I can't speak. But real talk, the reason why I'm on this, I think Metcalf should see the majority of the Surtain going on the outside there. JSN obviously has that slot experience, and I mean Denver's cornerbacks after Surtain, I don't really trust Riley Moss. You got there. I don't know who even is their slot corner at this point. Maybe I should know that, but I mean, regardless, the fact that I don't kind of speaks volumes to the fact that JSN may very well have 11 targets in this game.
Dude, I would love that. I just think you're wrong, and I have so much JSN that I'm going against my own bags with that take. I think I'm going to be disappointed today on JSN. I'm sensing a 6 for 35 and no touchdowns type of day out of JSN.
Well, that might still beat Pickens.
It might. You're right.
So we got that jotted down. Appreciate. We love our bets on Sunday. We love our bets. Where's
Matt when you need him?
Amen. Alejandro says full PPR start to London, DJ Moore, Neighbors, Amari Cooper, JSN. So I mean the clear first option is London here, and then DJ Moore versus Neighbors is so close to my rankings right now.
Yeah, I have Neighbors slightly higher than DJ Moore, but
I have Moore slightly higher. But also, if you want to avoid the risk,
Alejandro, this is a brutal question, dude. DJ Moore, Neighbors, and Cooper, I'm pretty sure are 18, 19, and 20 in my rankings. They're all.
You have Cooper way higher than I do. I have Moore at 19 and Neighbors at 22. I have Cooper at 28.
Sorry, they're 20, 22, and 23 in my rankings with Devontae Smith, who already played in between them.
Got you. Okay.
But London is the clear start for me there.
Yes, easily.
And technically, I have Neighbors the highest, so he would be my second. But DJ Moore and him are so close. I kind of want to just trust DJ Moore, the matchup and stuff, but he's got a rookie quarterback playing. Dude, I do not
could face some coverage from Snead.
I don't envy this decision for you.
Yeah, no, they are close enough.
But Neighbors is technically who I would go with.
Again,
if you want to lean on the side Moore that I had, which is play the veteran over the rookie in his first game, you could go with DJ Moore. But DJ Moore is a rookie quarterback in his first game, so.
Alfredo says, appreciate the super chat nonetheless, by the way. Start 3 standard. Nico, Olave, Cooper, JSN didn't play Worthy, and Higgins is out. Oh, sitting Worthy in a standard, knowing what
with Higgins being out too. That is horrible.
I mean, Nico, Olave are your locks here.
Cooper's,
and then it's Amari Cooper. Yeah,
there's no way you're starting JSN.
No, I have Cooper higher. I have Cooper higher. I will say though that game environment is pretty ugly, but yeah, it's Cooper straight up. We got a super from Juan. He also followed it up with a morning, boys. If Chase doesn't play, do I go Burrow or Stafford this week? I'd be stacking Stafford with Cup. I have Stafford ranked higher than Burrow.
I would rather even Chase is playing for starters. It's been ruled that he's going to play. And second of all, I would play Stafford over Burrow anyways, even though Chase is playing.
Yep, for sure. Sorry, I have to show this, Johnny. Yeah, Johnny commented on the wide receiver video that he had Rice and Reed on his bench.
That's crazy.
That is pain. Man. That is pain.
Here's the shitty thing: if you guys play in shallow leagues where your team is really good on your bench, like it's just gonna happen to you. Unfortunately, like there's gonna be like, oh, were you seriously gonna sit DJ Moore for Jaden Reed this week, and then Jaden Reed pops off for like 35 points on your bench. Yeah. It's the worst, especially for those of you guys in shallow leagues. Like I said,
Miguel, Oh, my fucking camera froze again. You can handle this, but just to address Miguel.
Yeah, we have. So Miguel, I don't know if you're new around here, but we have actually never gone back and forth between supers and regulars, assuming we have supers in the wings right now. So we're getting to supers, and then when we go back to the regulars at the top. But I see your question is pretty early on, so we'll definitely get to it. Like you asked your question like right as the stream started, so we'll get to your question. Just be patient.
Yeah, we will. Again, we do go with priority of the.
I'm not fading JSN, by the way. Like this, Eric says, curious why you're fading JSN. I'm not fading him. I have him at.
It sounds like you are though. I don't know. And my fucking.
Okay, yeah, we're putting you in the back seat again. I have him at 40. So there is a couple guys that I would rather play than JSN, but I still view him as like a decent option. I just have like Deontay Johnson, Terry McLaurin, Cortland Sutton, Jordan Addison slightly ahead of him, but I would play him over like Lad McConkey and Romo Dunze and Brian Thomas Jr. and those type of guys there. So I feel pretty good about JSN. He's just a little bit off there. Let's see, what else do we got here? I think, are we caught up on supers here? Let me take a look. Eric, okay. Giddy Up says pick 2 of Geno, Watson, and Fields. So I would be going of this group. That's Danny's frozen again. Geno, Watson, and Fields. I would go Fields and Geno of that group there. Giddy Up. I don't want to mess with the Cowboys defense, and Deshaun Watson doesn't have either of his starting 2 offensive tackles, so that'd be where my tiebreaker would go there.
I'm gonna lose full. I don't know why this is.
Someone's shit faced right now if they're playing the technical issues drinking game right now, and you are back in the seat. Danny, when you reset it, just wait a couple seconds in the back seat before you come back in. Javonte Williams or Najee Harris PPR. I'm taking Javonte Williams of that group there. Javonte or Swift, Neil says. I'm rolling with DeAndre. So I have those guys really, really close, Neil. It is so close for me. The only thing I'm really worried about is the fact that Swift is in an offense that like has Khalil Herbert there. So I'm a little bit more worried about how his workload looks. But Javonte Williams is also kind of in like a negative game script. So I did move Swift higher, even though in the running back tier list video, I did have Javonte slightly higher. So I would go with Swift there, but it's close.
I have Javonte higher.
Yeah, that one's really close. I think you could probably convince me in either direction that just play the workload of Javonte or play the matchup with Swift. Like it's pretty close with those two guys. And then last super, and then we can get back up.
What did you say for Javonte versus Najee in PPR?
I said Javonte.
Okay, and pick 2 of Geno, Watson, Fields. Okay, I just trust you. You gave the answer there.
I said Geno and Fields because Watson doesn't have his starting tackles, and it's the Cowboys defense.
Yeah, for sure. Palmer, BTJ, Fields, or Dak. Half PPR, much love. I am going with BTJ and Dak Prescott here.
Yeah, that's pretty solid there. I think I mean BTJ is a little concerning. Again, I'm not gonna go full hand like cuck mode and play Josh Palmer over him. Like, even though I said the veteran over the rookie thing, but I'm still worried that BTJ might not be like fully integrated into the offense here. Okay,
by
so
the
now
way,
we're going
real
back.
quick.
What's
real
up?
Quick. It should be better now. I just unplugged my cam link, put it back in the jack. I think because it was just in my PC for a while, maybe like there was some glitches on it, but
yeah, we power through. It's good. We don't need to explain ourselves here.
No, I'm explaining it to you.
Yeah, Hubbard or Tank? Tank Dell, I'm assuming you're talking about. If it's Tank Bigsby, obviously Chuba Hubbard, but Tank Dell, you're easily playing Tank Dell over Chuba Hubbard this week.
Yeah,
Michael.
Very comfortably.
Car Chisel says 10-team PPR. Love Brees Gibbs. Should I use Stafford
real quick?
Comes back or trade? Hold on, Danny. I'm answering a question.
Okay, okay, but like there's a comment with the super chat. Apparently, BRJ wasn't BTJ. It might have been Brian Robinson Jr. If that's the case, then it's Josh Palmer.
Oh, I see. Okay, there you go. Back up to the top. Should I use Stafford until Love comes back, or just should I trade for a different tight end? Should
I use?
Use Stafford until Love comes back, yes, but trade for a different tight end. I don't even see a tight end. You have Andrews here. Like good. Andrews will be fine. Don't worry about it, dude.
Sorry. Whew.
This is a struggle of the dream right
now. Pushing a mood today or what? Yeah, no, he usually yells at me. No, I'm kidding.
Yeah, I just can't stand it when Danny interrupts me when I'm answering a
I
question.
mean, what did you want me to do? It was part of the super chat.
Yeah, I know. Just wait until I'm done answering the question. That's what I wanted you to do.
Or
Okay. Do we have any supers, or can I go to the next question?
We're good.
Okay,
We're
there we
good.
go. We should just check with each other more often. That's what we need to do. Chuba Hubbard or Zamir White, half PPR. These guys are really close for me in my
Zamir
ranking.
half.
I have Zamir slightly higher, but I have Chuba really close behind. I have Zamir at 27 and Chuba Hubbard at 29. So I'll take
like
Zamir
the
there.
difference for me is the difference between the Saints run defense versus the Chargers Swiss cheese of a run defense.
Yeah, it's not a good. I mean, they might be better with Harbaugh now, but like it's still the same personnel. So
yeah, the personnel still is dog white.
What's up, lads? 10-man full PPR.
Sure.
Would you send out Chubb, Ayuk, and Kirk for Achane and Brooks?
So Achane versus Ayuk, I would rather have Achane, but what would you equate Achane to? Ayuk and Chubb?
Yeah, probably.
And then I'd rather have Brooks and Kirk.
Yeah, it's in a 10-man league. It's probably you got, bench stashes and like tons of depth. So I'd be okay doing this trade in a 10-man league. If this was like you needed the depth, Chubb, Ayuk, Kirk's a little bit better for like a deeper league, but I do like Achane and Brooks there, I think.
Oh, by the way, Kurt Jizzle, you're totally fine. You're totally fine. Sorry, we were trying to like piece it together. You're good.
Sorry, ESL just sent me for some reason.
Bush was already on tilt from me just lagging in and out of stream. He sees tight end. He's like, "What the fuck?"
Yeah. Also, I am totally in a mood today, if you guys couldn't tell, because my PC decided to shit the bed for an hour and a half and not recognize my microphone or my camera, and then Danny's shit's going wild. So this will be forever known as the tilted stream, I guess.
Starting January, thanks to y'all. Do I keep my Chase and my flex or put in Najee Harris full PPR? MHA is my other receiver. We are so fucking back. Appreciate that. Hey, you got the good start from Jaden Reed. Honestly, I mean, like Najee Harris is a fine option, but there's just no reason for me to put him.
No, he said, Chase. Are you sitting Marvin Harrison Jr. right now? Oh, Marvin Harrison's his other receiver. Okay, he's in his lineup currently. Yeah, no, you're playing Chase over Najee Harris. Like
I agree.
That's very easily.
Yeah. Real quick, by the way, so Hussein does ask us later on, does Flock subscription give you access to every creator's rankings or just the creator code we use? So if you use our code, you are supporting us, but you do get access to a lot of the content over on the site from the other creators, their rankings, a lot of the articles from other creators,
draft guides and stuff too. Yeah.
Like
the idea of
the best product.
The idea of the site, the reason we all joined forces together is that you get all of our bonus content, but you'd only technically be supporting one of us, whatever creator you wanted to support. You use that code and you get access to everything though. Like the only thing you don't get access to is like, I know Mason does like personalized podcasts for people that do annual subscriptions on his, and the domain guys do their blueprints and stuff, and we do dynasty decision stuff. Like we have one individual benefit, but you do get access to like all of our draft guides and our rankings and our articles and things of that nature. So Michael said started Jaden Reed. Thanks. Oh yeah, we already answered that one. I'm trolling.
We do have Terry McLaurin after this as well.
Yeah. Terry McLaurin or Kirk full PPR. I have Kirk higher than McLaurin this week.
I have Terry higher. I don't feel great about it, but I am slightly concerned that Kirk's only going to be in 11 personnel based off what we saw in the preseason.
Even if he is, dude, that game environment is like
it's such a
point over under, and the Terry McLaurin versus the Bucks, like it's potentially.
Your secondary is kind of shit, though. Your secondary is kind of shit.
Our secondary is kind of shit, but like the Dolphins is worse.
I agree that the game environment absolutely favors Kirk, but like. I'm just concerned about the usage, whereas even though it's sexless, like Terry McLaurin is going to get 100% of the snaps for the Washington this week.
Dude, Kirk was like taken out on 2 wide receiver sets last year, and he outscored Terry McLaurin. Like
that's a fair point. I mean, they're for what it's worth, they're both like wide receiver 3 projections. It's not like I feel.
I have Kirk at 27 this week. Like I think he's actually a really good.
Let's make a Kirk bet right now.
I think he's a really good play this week, just given the over under of that game.
Do you have Kirk or Ridley rated higher?
I have Kirk.
Don't say Kirk
higher than Ridley.
Oh my, let's do that. I mean that, or I mean, you don't have him over Dell, do you? I'm just making sure.
I do have him over Dell, but I don't want to make that bet. I'm scared.
I mean, do you have conviction on it? Because we could do it.
No, I don't. You know what? I have so little conviction on it that I just moved Dell ahead of him. I'll do Ridley though. I'll do Ridley.
Did we do a JSN one yet?
No, we did not.
I thought we did. Pickens versus JSN. We already did that. Okay. Yeah. So
yeah,
we did. But we will do Calvin Ridley then. All right. We feel good about that.
There we go.
But we do have some supers as well. We'll start out Chuba or J.K. Dobbins, half-point PPR. Give me Chuba Hubbard, just better projectable workload this week. But if Dobbins looked like himself, I would not be shocked. But just Chuba's the safer play, knowing that Gus Edwards is going to be there.
Yeah, I know. I'm up in the air with Dobbins as well. Like I'd like to play Dobbins. You can't until you see him actually be the workhorse there, or at least be the starter.
Need one flex spot. Gibbs, Javonte Williams, Ford, Neighbors. I mean, why is Gibbs in your flex? I don't know, but he's in the lineup easily. I guess because there's the worries about the hamstring. Like he's gonna play. He's
Are people worried about that still?
They shouldn't be, but
yeah, you shouldn't be worried about Jahmyr Gibbs' hamstring injury. I'm pretty sure he practiced
he's
all
a
week
top
long.
5 ranked running back for me this week. You're starting.
Yeah, he practiced all week, and that game is like a 53-point over/under.
Mason versus McLaughlin. I'm in general with a healthy CMC. So I currently actually moved Mason up to my RB43 on the week. I think he's like a back end RB4 if Christian McCaffrey plays. The reason why I'm saying that is I think even if McCaffrey plays, we won't see 100% of McCaffrey's workload. It may be a 70 to 80% of McCaffrey workload type of game. And I can see Mason working into a 10 to 12 touch workload. But also you have the implied upside there where if CMC does eventually get ruled out, or maybe he plays and then gets re-aggravated in the game, Jordan Mason would instantly become a top 15 running back. So for me, because you're getting both the implied upside and similar standalone value with Mason, I'm easily going with Mason.
Yeah, I don't know if he means to hold on your roster rather than to actually play, but I would again, I'm not in the business of handcuffing your own running back, but just for a week or two until McCaffrey gets back on his feet here in terms of his health, I'd be okay holding Mason for a week or two if you need to.
For sure. Half PPR, 2 of Ford, Zamir, Tank Dell, Monty, and Deontay. This is quite easily for me. Tank Dell and David Montgomery. Tank Dell and David Montgomery both have extremely good game environments. With Tank Dell, that Indianapolis versus Houston game will end up being a shootout. I believe it is a 49.5 listed over under. The Houston Texans are applied for over 26 points. We're starting him with confidence. And in terms of David Montgomery, this is the highest over under game of the entire slate. We expect points. David Montgomery, despite losing some of his workload down the stretch to Jahmyr Gibbs, should have touchdown equity in this game. And in half PPR, you're just trying to pick a guy who can score touchdowns. Jerome Ford, not an ideal matchup. Zamir White, kind of a stinky player himself. Deontay Johnson, he's literally known for not scoring touchdowns.
Yeah, so do you go Montgomery and Dell there?
Yeah.
Montgomery was my start of the week at running back. I think he's a phenomenal play. And if you guys want some, we can quickly talk about this before we answer some more questions. But I filled out my week 1 pick 'em here. I got Montgomery in with a higher. Literally, Jack just said. So I like Montgomery to score this week. I also like Mostert to score, which is why I took the higher on his fantasy points. I like Aaron Jones to catch a lot of checkdowns and be kind of efficient against the Giants defense. They were bottom 6 against the running back position. So I like Aaron Jones higher than 3.5 receiving and rushing first downs. And I also like Mixon to score because that game environment could go absolutely bonkers. And if you're wondering why I have a vulture higher than Jahmyr Gibbs half total yard, it's because the pick 'em entry that I put out for Friday, Josh Jacobs was vultured by Jaden Reed's rushing touchdown. So I got this bonus basically to have a vulture protected higher free square for Jahmyr Gibbs. So that's the entry I'm rolling with this week. If you guys are looking for some Underdog pick'ems, and of course, Underdog also has the Dak special live really quick. Well, let me just show this, Danny. The Dak special is live right here for new and returning users, and then Danny also has some pick'ems here too.
Well, yeah, I was just going to share that my Dak higher than 0.5 total yards was worked into there, and it made it a very easy overall pick'em to make here. Nico Collins, you guys know how high on him, how high I am on him in the short that I actually did today. Talked about the fact that the Colts primarily run cover 3 at a 55% rate under Gus Bradley. We saw last year in the 2 matchups, Nico Collins had over 140 receiving yards. I think we're in store for a potential wide receiver 1 overall week from Nico Collins. So 69.5, taking the higher there. Kyren Williams, we just talked about the game environment of Detroit versus LA. Very, very high implied total there at 52.5. Kyren Williams, despite missing 5 games, was top 5 in the NFL in red zone carries. Quorum's going to be a factor, but if Kyren is this involved in the red zone and this team is expected to score this amount of points, I think punching in a touchdown is very well in the range of outcomes and the expected outcome for me for Kyren Williams this week. Top of that, you pair that with Dak Prescott, you can 6x your entry.
Yep, absolutely. So check out Underdog, of course, promo code FSE when you sign up for a deposit bonus up to 1,000. I put stuff on the TikTok. Danny's putting stuff on the shorts. Make sure you guys stay tuned for those. We're going to be doing that all season long. Yep. So we should bounce back. I've been doing 3 pick'em entries. This one's a little bit of a
I've got 2 for 3 in my first 2. Like
exactly. Yeah, I've gone 2 for 3 in my first 2 as well, but I got the vulture protection on Jacobs, so I actually technically went 1-0-1, or sorry, 0-1-1, not 1-0-1. So again, we need to bounce back today. Hopefully on the main slate we can get right.
For sure. Rome, Lad, Shakir, or Rico. Please tell me we're on the same page here. Please tell me we're on the same page here. Don't say it's not.
I actually like Shakir this week, so it's close, but I do have Lad and Rome as the 2 that I would go with.
Wait, hold up. I just said that about you, but I actually have Shakir the highest. Sorry. I'm high on all of them, though. Shakir is my wide receiver 35. Rome's my wide receiver 37. Who are the other ones here? Lad and Rico. Like, Lad is my wide receiver 41, and Rico's my RB 33. Also, you are blurry, brother.
Am I? Oh, okay. Maybe I should. My internet's probably dog shit at the moment,
Okay.
but we'll again, another drink. Someone's shit faced right now, like I said.
Hey, man. Nico says, appreciate the super chat as well. Thanks for helping me win my league last year, boys. Hate to ask a kicker question, but I play with morons. Tyler Bass with the win or someone off waivers? Well, the question I have for you is who's off of waivers? Like, who can you pick up? I'm assuming there's no like Brandon Aubrey just chilling there, because obviously I would say Brandon Aubrey, but
yeah, Brandon Aubrey's not on waivers. Kaimi Fairbairn is one of my favorite kicker streams if he's available in the Texans-Colts game. And conversely, if the Colts kicker is available, he's also a good option in that game. Or if any of the Rams or the Lions kickers are available, because that game is a high over-under as well.
And that's your number one thing. Like, we could talk about how good the real-life kickers are, but you really
pick
just want
up
kickers.
A high-scoring games kicker, honestly. It's the easiest cheat code you can make, especially if the team is favored or the kicker actually is good in real life.
Yep. PPR hero running back build, Dowdle, Algier, and Benson. It's Dowdle this week pretty easily for me.
Yeah, it is also Dowdle for me this week as well.
Sir,
good?
Shout out Mystery Meat. Yeah, we're good. Mystery Meat's an OG too.
Yep. Casey, apologies for the long wait. We are back up to the top of the list here. Casey says Kyler, Gibbs, Chase Brown, Harrison, Cup, etc. Rice instead of Pitts, and regretting it, ended up with Murray with the 11th pick. Okay, so he's asking us to like rate his team here, basically. I think it's a good hero RB build. I like the Bowers Kyler. I like the wide receiver depth that you've built out. Pretty solid, honestly. Miguel finally getting to his question here. He says, should I flex Mostert over Pickens? Half PPR. I have Pittman and Dell as my wide receivers.
Mostert.
I would go Mostert for sure, especially in half PPR. Yeah. I just talked about it with my pick-em entry. I think he is pretty much a lock to score in this game against Jacksonville.
Yeah. I like that call as well. Hopefully, not at the sake of Devon Achane though, because we would love to see a Devon Achane blow up game for the brand.
Oh, I put it in the flock thing while I was walking down the street. I was like, I need Devon Achane to be the beneficiary of Tyreek getting arrested. Bad.
Bro, that is fucking comedy. Yeah, dude, some of those clips that I recorded, I saw you recorded a couple. I saw like Zach and Badake, obviously the domain guys. Mason's been putting a ton in there. Like, if you guys aren't following the Flock League channel, like, we will be dropping a video every Tuesday. And the drive right now, we have like 40 clips in there. Like, this video, if you guys aren't already following it, is going to be some of the best content you see on YouTube.
Yeah, no, like the vlogs are just going to be basically like cut-ups of us talking shit about each other the entire thing. Like, that's basically all we're doing, is just being like Sal reverse jinxed himself. He renamed his team Sorry Corey after Thursday night. Like, that's what I was saying in mine. I'm like, dude, like, are you new to fantasy or something? Like, you should not be doing that. If anything, you should be like, dude, congrats on your win.
Yeah, no, that is he might have screwed the pooch there. Imagine you just make a generational comeback.
It's not even that generational. I'm like 37% chance of winning.
Garrett Wilson on Monday Night Football exploding to win you the matchup would feed families.
It would feed families indeed. Johnny says he already mentioned that actually. Yeah. With Ayuk, I'm going Ayuk there still. Danny, you're not switching out Ayuk for any of these guys, right?
I'm not that much of a psycho.
Evan says full PPR. Should I start McBride in the flex over Chase? Have Nico, Olave, London, Kelsey already covering this other starting positions? No, you should start Chase, right? You're not starting Trey McBride in your flex over Jamar Chase, right?
No, that's a little.
Who's your tight end? I guess you said your tight end is Kelsey, so you need to get one of those guys off of your team for sure. You definitely don't need to have Kelsey and McBride all season long, but I don't know, somehow you still have Chase, Nico, Olave, and London on your team. I don't know how you got all of these players. They were all like top 3 round picks.
He's just cooking, bro. Or he's in a 4-man league. No, I'm kidding.
He's in a 4-man for sure.
That is the funniest thing. Every time somebody sees a good team like posted, they're just like 4-man league, 2-man league.
Yeah, no, literally.
Matt says PPR Mostert or Ford at running back 2. HN is my running back 1. I don't like the double handcuff, but at this point, just fucking fire up both those Dolphins.
Yeah, I don't love the handcuff either, but like the Dolphins could pull like 4 touchdowns between the two of those running backs.
I mean, if Mostert scores this week in your case, now you have a nice little sell high because you're not keeping both those guys for the entire year. Let's just make that clear.
Mostert is the definition of he's going to snap this week and be a sell high. Like I think Mostert could have like a monster week this week.
Question for you. I'm assuming it's Brian Robinson for you. I actually have it ranked that way, but I'm curious. So in my spot, would you go Gus Edwards or would you go with Brian Robinson? Because
I would go with Brian Robinson for sure.
Okay. We're same page. That's actually in the listener league. I was just looking at a couple of my lineups, making sure they were all ready to go.
I'm not certain that my lineups are set. That's why I'm checking right now.
Chuba to replace Garrett Wilson or Kenneth Walker this week? Neither.
Yeah, what? Garrett Wilson? Why would you play Chuba over Garrett Wilson?
God. Shout out my Canadian brother, though. Shout out to
the Canadian brother. Are you caught on supers?
Yeah, we are caught on supers, and I'm gonna quickly glance at that. Refresh the
here. I'll answer a couple questions here, and then you answer a couple questions while I'm setting my lineup. Okay.
We're all caught up, by the way, on Flock. I just took a look.
Okay. Mitchell says pick 3 wide receivers: Deebo Samuel, Garrett Wilson, Tank Dell, Deontay Johnson, Khalil Shakir. You set your lineups. I'll answer these questions. Deebo Samuel, Garrett Wilson, Tank Dell are very easily my top 3 there. Mitchell.
Yep.
Rice Def should have been started. Yeah, facts. Not liking Deontay today. That game reeks of one of those real bad unders. Dude, I disagree, man. All the sharps are on the over in that Saints-Panthers game. It's turnover city. It's it's good defenses and bad offenses. I could see some pick sixes. I could see some short fields. I actually really like, we're not giving betting advice, obviously, but I actually like that Saints-Panthers game to go over today.
Yeah, fair. My bet for that, or my call for that was Washington Tampa Bay going over. Like I think that's a sneaky little potential high spot. Now I said that in the wide receiver video.
I have there.
I said that in the wide receiver video. No, that's the thing. The weather context actually came up afterwards. So I believe it was at 41.5 or 42 when I made the video without the weather concern. So that's actually fair call. I forgot about the weather.
Yep, for sure. Rank, Andrew says full PPR, Chase Brown, J.K. Dobbins, Brian Robinson, Javonte Williams. So I have Javonte Williams pretty clearly as the first guy here.
Javonte, Chase, Brian, J.K.
That is the way that I have it ranked as well. But Chase, Brian, and J.K. are like 30 to 34 for me. And then Javonte is like 23 or 24 for me. So he's like by far the best option there for me. I had Reed on the bench in 2 leagues. Yeah, that is not great.
We do have a few supers as well. I will click for you as well. We already answered that. Hubbard or Chase? Oh no, we didn't answer this one. Hubbard or Chase Brown with no Higgins? I would still lean Hubbard because he has the safer workload. But if Chase Brown legitimately had a breakout week and we're ranking him as a top 15 option after this week, I would not be shocked. I think that's in the range of outcome. Spears or Chase Brown in full PPR? I would lean Chase Brown there. They're both running backs in potential timeshare situations, except Chase Brown is a 6-point favorite at home. Tajay Spears, I believe. What is the line currently for the Titans Bears? They're like 5-point underdogs on the road.
I think they were 4.5 the last time I checked.
Yeah, around there.
Yeah, they are the Titans Bears. They are 3.5-point underdogs. They were 4.5 at one point during the week. So I guess the people are betting the Titans constantly,
which makes sense. The sharp money coming late. Full PPR, Ramondre, Singletary, Pollard, Javonte Williams, Jameson Williams, one of those two, and Jalen Warren. I mean, Ramondre Stevenson's still got to be the top option here.
If it's Javonte Williams, that's very close. If it's Jameson Williams, it's very easily Ramondre.
Yeah, I would agree.
Who? By the way, I have this decision in my home league. You're starting Chase Brown over Dowdle, right?
Funny enough, I literally just made that decision in the Flock League. I'm starting Chase Brown over Dowdle.
Yeah. Do we have the same running back core in both leagues? Because we both have
Breece Hall, Chase Brown, Rico Dowdle, Trey Benson, Jalen Wright.
Okay, so I don't have Trey Benson and Jalen Wright. My backups or my other guys are J.K. Dobbins and Ray Davis. But yeah, we both have Breece, Chase Brown, and Rico as our top 3 running backs.
Dude, we know ball. What can I say?
Are we caught up or we got? Oh, Mr. Trees here. Deontay, Jordan Addison, Josh Palmer, Cortland Sutton. I have Deontay the highest of this group, but Sutton is actually pretty close behind him.
I'd go Deontay as well. But yeah, here, go back up to the top. I'm going to make sure these lineups are continually set.
Mitchell says, rate this team: Stroud, Garrett Wilson, Debo, Saquon, Pacheco, Andrews, Tank Dell, Evan McPherson, bench. I think you're in a good spot. I don't think you need Goddard. That would be the only thing I would say. Maybe another upside swing on your bench would probably be good, Mitchell. Probably like a 9 out of 10 team, though. Ramondre or Javonte. I have Ramondre one spot higher, but if you convinced me Javonte was the better play, I wouldn't really totally disagree with you. I think they're very close.
Another one I wanted to ask you. So in a league that I share with Flet, we actually co-manage this. Would you start Brandon Ayuk or Kyle Pitts? Non-tight end premium.
I would. That's an interesting decision point. I'd probably still go with Ayuk personally.
Well, I was going to tell you. So we actually had Pitts in.
Oh, you guys are starting Pitts.
Yeah. It's a close projected matchup right now. Like it's a 147-139 projection between our team versus the other guy. We're favored by 8. So knowing that we got a good start from Lamar, we wanted to go with the safer option. But it is tough because we do have we do have Brock Purdy as well. Kind of want to put the stack in, but knowing it's a close matchup, that was like the decider for us.
Yeah, no, I think that's fair. I probably would just still go with Brandon Ayuk there. Rolando's in here. He says, "Sup, my guys, flex Ramondre." I would go with probably, this is tough. Who are you going here? You going? I'm assuming it's between Ramondre or Brian Thomas or McConkey for you. Which guy are you going with here?
Full PPR. Oh, Brian Thomas is the upside, man.
I know. I actually have Thomas behind McConkey, and now that I think about it, I think I would rather start Thomas given the game environment, and I think I would start both the receivers over Ramondre and full PPR. So I think I'm going to roll with Brian Thomas there, Rolando, but that is really close.
Sorry, Jonathan says there was also a defense question here, so our apologies there.
Oh, he did. Atlanta, we did miss that part of his question.
Atlanta with Fields at quarterback or the Chargers against the Raiders? I'm going with the Falcons, man. I think the Steelers' offense is going to look like absolute trash this week.
That's tough one, man.
At home,
I think Minshew and the Raiders are a fucking bullet train to nowhere.
Both those offenses
I want to take the Chargers there.
I mean, yeah. Sorry that didn't really help, but
hold on. Let's see what the tiebreaker is. Is one of them at home?
The Falcons are.
Are the Falcons at home?
Yeah.
They're both at home, actually.
Yeah.
I have the Chargers one spot higher, so I would take the Chargers. But it is the over/under in both games is low. They're both of the offenses are, train wrecks. I think Minshew is more prone to throw a 5-interception game than Fields, so I would take the Chargers defense.
Are you
there.
sure
I'm
actually
actually starting the Chargers defense.
Are you sure Fields won't have like two interceptions and 3 fumbles?
Oh, he'll probably take like 7 sacks. But I think that Minshew is like the type to throw pick sixes, and that's what gets you defense points. So I'll take the Chargers defense there. It's kind of copium because I am starting them in the Flock League.
PPR need to Chase, Adams, or Debo. I mean, dude, like this is like 15-17 in my rankings right now. If you're risk averse, it's Adams and Debo. But if you have the balls to start Chase, I would go with Chase and Adams.
I have the balls to start Chase over Debo personally.
Then Chase and Adams.
Or over who do I have higher than Debo? And
I have Adams rated higher.
I have Adams in week 1 highest in this group actually.
I have it 14, 16, 17 right now. So yeah.
I'd be going Adams and Chase here, but it's really difficult to sit Debo, especially knowing that Ayuk might be on a pitch count. I don't envy this question, Trojan. I really don't. I think that you're going to make – this is one of those questions where if I had this decision, I know whatever decision I make is going to be wrong.
By the way, real quick, so if you guys don't know what it's like streaming while setting your lineups, even when you know you've already set your lineup, the panic you have just double, triple, quadruple checking is unlike anything I've
checked my home league lineup 4 times, and I set it on Thursday, and I haven't had a single player play yet.
I set all my lineups yesterday.
I set all my lineups daily.
Yeah, well, same, but like that's what I set all my lineups for this morning yesterday, knowing that on stream I didn't want to double check, and I'm still double checking because I'm paranoid.
No, you know what screwed me up? I got a notification that says Higgins is in your lineup. He's out, and I look, and he's not in any of my lineups.
They're fucking with you, bro.
You know where I think he's in my lineup? In Bush League Dynasty Best Ball.
Oh,
he's just sitting in my lineup because the projections put him there or whatever. And he's just sitting there even though he's out, and it's a best ball league, so I don't have to worry about it. I don't know why it's fucking me up, though.
Where's Jalen Wright starting for me? Oh, dude, Jalen Wright starting for me in, was it? Yeah.
Probably a tanking league.
The Flock Me Silly League. Yeah, I can't even get him out of my lineup now. But, I mean, my other running back options were Isaac Guerrero, Jamal Williams, and Trey Sermon. if the absence of Jalen Wright really affects my what's it called? I don't know. I
Your
forget what I
win?
was talking about, but yeah, regardless. I mean,
Anyways, I appreciate you guys
50.
for tuning in to the most disorganized stream we have ever done in our lives. That was like an absolute train wreck. We promise we will be back and ready to go tomorrow night for Monday, and also tomorrow afternoon for our recap stream at noon Eastern. We do those Monday recap streams, and we'll be looking for dynasty trades in our Discord or on Twitter. So if you guys do have any, we'll just keep an eye out for that, and we'll talk about those. But yes, most disorganized stream of the year. Appreciate you guys for bearing with us and sticking with us. Peace out. Enjoy the game. Hopefully Jordan Love was the only major injury that we have. I really, really hope we get a clean week 1 here, but I do have a feeling we could get a monster waiver wire guy. Good luck, everyone.
Take care.